Ladies and gentlemen, welcome, bienvenue, herzlich willkommen to this first ever Euranet Awards ceremony. And it's great that you're all here. For those of you who are watching us online, we've got a huge bunch of students here from all over Europe. And this is, of course, here at the European Parliament. Euranet is a project that, among other things, tries to promote journalism among young people. And we're going to start, before presenting the awards, by having a short speech by the newly elected President of the European Parliament, Mr. Martin Schulz. Herzlich willkommen, who is going to be speaking to us about European values and some of the things that you're addressing in your stories. Go ahead. Herzlichen Dank.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Vielen Dank. Merci beaucoup. Ladies and gentlemen, I was asked to speak in English, so normally my mother language is German, but so I was already enthusiastic to be welcomed in German. This is already a progress. Thank you very much for the invitation. Thank you very much for the opportunity to address you for this important event. I think the Euranet Award is a new award, but an important one, because you as journalists, as participants, with the proposals you made, you have contributed to a debate which is for us, in my eyes, the most important one for the time being. It is the debate about European values. We are living in turbulent times. We are living in times of enormous economic challenges and threats for a lot of people. We are living in times in which, in some member countries of the European Union, more than 60% of people younger than 25 years are unemployed. This is a shame, a scandal. In one of the most richest regions of the world, we allow that young people have no perspective. And this is leading to debates instead to invest in measures bringing people to jobs, bringing jobs to people, instead to invest in growth and employment. Politicians are investing in debates how to reduce, for example, free movement, how to close the labor market. Or politicians are contributing to populistic, not only debates, but decisions, as the previous Danish government to close the borders, or the French government to open a debate about free movement for Roma people. Some of you discussed the item of free movement in Europe. Some of you discussed freedom of press and speech, which is under threat in Europe, in some of the member states of the European Union. Freedom of journalists are not longer guaranteed. The other way around. Critical radios are closed, or the license is given to government near enterprises. Some of you discussed about same-sex marriages. This is the question how we are allowed to organize our life in Europe, defined by on our own or defined by public pressure. Some of you spoke and contributed to the visibility of disabled persons and the right of respect these people have in our society. And you spoke about the Erasmus program. Just today we had a lot of so-called Erasmus ambassadors here in the European Parliament. Since 25 years, the Erasmus program, with, as I learned today, 2.2 million participants since '87, and 250,000 professors who, as senior organizers of the Erasmus programs served since '87, served to the idea of cross-border, cross-national exchange of young people in the European Union, which is in my eyes a pillar of European integration. And the proposal Erasmus for All is in my eyes a very, very good proposal, and we have to negotiate it in the frame of the financial perspective of the European Union, because last time, this is an important information perhaps for those who discussed about Erasmus for everybody. Last time, when we debated and discussed and negotiated the financial perspective of the European Union between 2006 and 13, or 7 and 13, pardon, 2007 and 13, the heads of states and government, in their illimited wisdom, reduced exactly in the financial perspective of the European Union the Erasmus program. And it was the European Parliament who fought to get the money back. And as the chief negotiator of the European Parliament for the next financial perspective, I will fight for Erasmus for all. So freedom of speech, freedom of movement, freedom of self-determination of life, respect to disabled person. The long list of your items, this is the list of the European values we have to defend. Thank you, therefore, and congratulations for those who won the prize. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you. Stay on stage. Thank you so much. I can't resist, as a journalist, asking one question, as you are now in the job. Just 2 weeks, Mr. Schulz, you said 60% youth unemployment. It's a staggering figure. As in terms of chief now of the European Parliament, is there something you think that this institution can do to tackle this particular problem?
Yeah, I think in the budget of the European Union we have billions of unused money, not spent money, for example, in the social funds of the European Union. This is money which is normally, if it is not used, given back to the national finance ministers, and they are enthusiastic to get back money. So my advice to the European Parliament, to the European Commission especially, is to use the money immediately. Why we should give money back to the German Minister of Finance in a country, Germany, which has not the problem of so much unemployed young people? Why we should give the money back, instead to use it, to give it, for example, to Spain for a youth employment program targeted on Spain and Greece. This is the better idea, instead to give the advice to young Spanish to go to Germany and to look for jobs there. This is something we can do very concretely.
Great, thank you so much. Now I'd like you, thank you very much, Mr. Schulz. I could like you to just stay on the stage, please, for us just a few more minutes, because I'd like you to present the first prize. And in order to introduce our 5 laureates, I'd like to please ask Erlends Calabuig, you're the CEO of Euranet. Yes. Tell us a little bit about why we now have this award ceremony and who the finalists are.
Exactly. First of all, thank you, President Schulz, for the very nice introductory words, as all these values that you have mentioned, of course, are very deep to our heart. And very modestly, Euranet tries to promote them in our daily labors. So basically, thank you to all to be here. We are really very happy for this first edition of Euranet Awards in Journalism. And I will tell you a little word about the background of this prize. You will see 5 laureates who have been selected by a jury of professional journalists on the 20th of December, a jury which was gathered here in RTBF with Dominic Dunn, our CEO editorial, who coordinated this jury. We had like 84 participants all across Europe, which really wanted to compete for this very nice award under the generic theme of European citizens' rights. And of course, as you will see across the diverse topics of the magazines, many of them, of course, dealt about disabled people and the way that they had to suffer some kinds of discrimination and how we can tackle that, about the rights of minorities and so on and so forth. And you will see that really the quality of these laureates helped to really try to have a very gut feeling, I would say, about the daily concerns and the daily issues. So we will really very briefly present our very distinguished laureates. starting with Mr. Andrei-Mihai Purcarea. Maybe if you can just stand up for us, just for a while. Thank you. So I will say a few words about you. Andrei is currently a student in the Media Communication Masters within the Faculty of Political, Administrative and Communicational Sciences of Babeș-Bolyai in Cluj. Andrei is currently practicing journalism at the UBB Radio Online, and he has already been very active in many European youth initiatives. And for this Euranet Journalism Awards, you have chosen a subject about people with visual impairments. So thank you, Andrei. The second laureate is Mrs. Elena Roda, Miss Elena Roda, from Italy. Elena is currently studying at the Danish School of Media and Journalism, if I'm right, in the University of Aarhus. She's part of Erasmus Mundus Masters of Journalism, so she's one of the ambassadors President Schulz was talking about. Elena has already had several quite interesting work experiences in the field of journalism in Italy and currently in New York. Is that right? Thank you. Mr. Falk Steinborn from Germany. Falk, you have been studying in several European universities, notably in Dortmund. And you have been a 12-month trainee at WDR, if I'm not wrong. And you also have been very active in volunteering as founder and leader of Queer Blick, which is an association for the empowerment of LGBT youth by media training. And you have selected the subject on gays marriage. Thank you, Falk. Miss Aude van den Hove from Belgium. Aude is currently studying at EX in Brussels for a Master in Press and Specialized Information. And Aude has also been quite active within several interesting work experiences in campus radios, notably for the initiative Micro Europa, launched by EX. And you have chosen a subject on the European Citizens Initiative. And then finally, Miss Jessica Verzuli from Italy. Jessica is currently studying economics at the University of Pescara in Italy. She would like to become a journalist specialized in economics. And Jessica has had a very diverse work experience and is currently working in business communication in Italy. You have also chosen a subject on gays marriage. So here are all our laureates, and we will, of course, proceed now to award the prizes.
The first prize, and I'm going to give the honor to President Schulz. If you could just come to the podium for us again, President Schulz, and just read out the name of the lucky winner.
This is an honor for me. I hope that I pronounced the name correctly. Andrei-Mihai Purcarea is the prize winner.
Come up, Andrei. Come up. Thank you so much, Andrei. Here now. It's quite a lot to hold. Congratulations. Congratulations. Thank you so much, President Schulz. Thank you very much for joining us again. And next year for the next award ceremony, we hope. Thank you very much.
Okay, bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Andrei, well done. Can we just have another round of applause for Andrei? So, now, we had a brief introduction by Erlends, but just tell us what your report was about and why you decided to do that particular story.
First of all, should I hold the microphone or?
It's okay. You've got enough to hold there. You're fine.
Okay, I'm very nervous now because I wasn't actually expecting this at all. My report was about people with visual impairment, and the thing that made me want to choose this topic was the fact that I had an experience knowing a person that suffers from this disability, and I was very impressed because the context in which I met this person was at a radio school where you learn everything about radio stations mostly. And I was very impressed because even without seeing, she was able to do everything that we can do, we the people who see. And I saw that the fact that we don't actually appreciate what we have until we lose it. And the fact that I met her and I got the chance to talk to her and about her background, about her interests and what she wants to do in life further after she finishes studies was an ambition for me to find out more, to investigate more. That's why when I got to Brussels and I had to document my entire report, I tried to be in her position, and I was thinking about her a lot. And I tried to experience what it would be to go outside of a building and see how it feels not to see anything, but rely on your senses, on what you hear, what you smell, what you feel next to you. I was very impressed about her, and I think that dealing with citizen rights and people with disabilities should be a top priority, because in no way are they less capable than the rest of us are.
Just one question. Do you think that enough is being done to help this woman who you speak about and thousands like her who have visibility problems?
I think that from doing my research for my project, I found out that there are a lot of programs from the Commission also that are being developed. And I'm sure, and I know, and I've heard and read that there are being a lot of things done. But I would like to, in my opinion, there should be a lot of focus on hiring people with disabilities. In my opinion, this should be one of the primary focuses. Because in terms of accessibility, it depends on countries. There are funds for this, and they are able to individually develop accessibility for these people. And a lot of countries already have done so. For example, here in Brussels, where I made the report, there are a lot of means for them to access and manage. And also, I've learned from documenting my report that the private institutions could actually do more to help these people.
Thank you. Well, hopefully, with your help and those of lots of other people who also participated in this context, we'll try and get this at the top of the agenda. Congratulations again for the prize.
Thank you.
Enjoy it and keep up the good work. And another round of applause, please, for Andrei. Erlends, you're going to be, please, coming to introduce the second and third prizes, which are just as important. So let's start with number two.
Third, this is the second. So the second prize and the winner is Elena Roda.
Okay, Elena Roda, di Italia. We just heard a few words about you. Fatto benissimo. Thank you. Congratulations, Elena. So, tell us, what was your story about and what inspired you?
My story was about women's rights in the European Union and gender equality in the working environment. There is this big difficulty for women, especially for women, to have a job and to be moms and to have a family. So I was actually wanted to analyze what's this difficulty in Europe, and there are still a lot of differences between countries, especially with Southern European countries and the Scandinavian ones.
Well, exactly, because you're Italian, you're studying in Denmark. Even just on that level, do you notice a difference?
There is a lot of difference because, for example, paternity leaves don't exist in Italy. So actually dads cannot stay at home with their kids, and it's just on moms. So actually the mothers have a lot of difficulty in finding a job, especially after that they became moms.
Okay, well, keep campaigning. I hope that you'll stick on the issue, because for me personally that's also important. Congratulations. Thank you very, very much. Thank you.
And the third prize is Falk Steinborn.
Okay, Falk. Gratuliere. Super. Sehr gut gemacht. So your story was one of two reports about gay marriage. Tell me why this was close to your heart.
Well, it's a matter which actually concerns myself. I was doing a report about civil union, gay marriage, and how it differs in a lot of different countries within the European Union. For example, if my boyfriend and we are getting married in, let's say in the Netherlands, we cannot move to another country like Romania or Slovenia without losing our rights of being partners and having responsibility for each other. So I think in general there's a lot of inequality within within the laws of civil union and gay marriage. And I think me as a journalist, I'm responsible for touching issues which are going wrong, and I try to contribute a little bit to make it better and to raise attention.
And do you feel that there is progress being made, or are you in fact worried about something that Martin Schulz talked about earlier, so, populism and perhaps more conservative values kind of coming to the fore again?
I think there is progress being made. It was last week that in the European Parliament a petition was signed with 10 points against discrimination of LGBT people. At least 180 people, MEPs, signed this petition, but it shows at the same time that out of 754 MEPs, there are still a lot of deputies who could have contributed. So I think we still have to fight, we still have to stand up for our rights because we are here and we deserve the same rights as everybody else.
Do that. Thank you so much. Thank you very much, Falk. Thank you, Erlends. All right, now I would like to welcome Giuseppe Porcaro. You are the Secretary General of the European Youth Forum. Giuseppe is looking at all sorts of issues regarding youth, media, the challenges facing young people in Europe. But in particular, you've also been lobbying just to try and get this chronic problem of youth unemployment at the top of the European agenda. You had a minor triumph yesterday, I think, but you think it's not good enough. So tell us a little bit more about this issue. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Indeed, yesterday it was a quite special day because there was a European Council devoted, among other things, also to the issue of youth employment. And this was quite a premiere. It was quite an historical event from this point of view, which we welcomed by sending an open letter to President Van Rompuy last week that even retweeted yesterday night. So we were quite happy about that, actually, that the subject is picked up. And actually, what President Schulz just said about the chronic problem of youth employment in Europe at the moment just shows that actually it is a crucial moment where youth is high in the agenda at the political level, not just a second-ranking subject, which sometimes it is portrayed as. Another couple of events have been happening last week which are quite important. One is that UN Secretary General Ban Ki-moon announced that he will appoint a special representative of the Secretary General for youth. So just to add on that really youth is on the forefront at the moment, not because we are celebrating young people and their force, but actually because we have a chronic problem about that. Now, we are happy that they are listening to us, but we are not so sure yet about what they will deliver. On the specific points raised also by President Schulz about using the EU funds for tackling youth employment, this was one of the crucial parts of the conclusions of the Council yesterday. We actually think that it is per se a very, very important and good news, but we are a little bit worried about how those funds are going to be used. For instance, there are 2 points that we see a little bit critical. We are very happy to see that a lot of resources are going to be put in having more internships and trainerships in Europe, that this is one of the targets. But what we are worried on is that these will not be effective unless they are going to be quality internships. And that's why, as European Youth Forum, we are pledging for a European charter on quality internships, because we see this as still a very grey area. So while celebrating the amounts of money that is going to be put in this, at the same time, we are still pointing out that a lot of work needs to be done there, that we cannot just randomly use the funds like that. The second point is about the youth guarantee. It has been mentioned in the conclusions of the Council yesterday that after 4 months of a young person quitting school, he or she should have the chances to find an opportunity to get into the labor market. This is fantastic news. The only thing that we would add is that it should not only be an opportunity given for a boy or a girl going out of school. It should be for every young person that is going out either from school or either from a precarious job or either from any other kind of learning opportunity. I think this is extremely important. The third point is about investment not just on the formal education, but as well on formal educations, on non-formal education, because the skills that are needed and required for today's Europe are actually much larger than the ones that we can learn in the formal education system nowadays. So it is not only about investing in youth, it's about how do we invest in young people in Europe. And it is about the approach. I think that young people should be seen as producers and not as passive consumers. This is extremely important. Producers of policies, producers of media, producers of ideas, and democracy. I think this is at the core and the heart of that. As youth sector of civil society, we are there to create this added value for Europe. Some would call it for increasing the social capital of the continent. Others would call it for increasing the soft power and the competitiveness of the continent. We call it for youth rights. In any case, young people deserve nothing less.
Great. Thank you so much, Giuseppe. Thank you. This is an issue for all of you who are following us on Facebook that is probably going to come up during some of the debates we're going to be having later on. So please remember, if you hear anything now that triggers a question, you can send in your questions later on and we'll be putting them to our panel. Giuseppe, it came on the agenda yesterday, this issue of youth unemployment. But of course, this is not a new problem. It's set to get worse as many countries suffer from the economic problems even more this year. Are you surprised that it's taken this long to put this on top of the agenda?
Well, yeah, we are surprised, but it is since 2008 when the crisis sparkled for the first time at the European level that we've been calling the European leaders for tackling this problem. So, I mean, it is a little bit of a surprise, but at the same time, it takes time. And what is worse is that we need to wait until the problem becomes so dramatic that actually cannot be ignored anymore. This is what it is more bothering.
Okay. All right. Well, you keep campaigning. If any of you want to get in touch with Giuseppe as well, you can do so later on. But in the meantime, stay here for me. I would like Giuseppe just to please introduce the fourth and fifth winners starting and just read out the names for me of number 4. Thank you.
So the number 4 is Aude van den Hove.
Come here, Aude. Très bien fait. Félicitations, Aude. You're francophone, I think. Francophone. Hold on, let me give you your prize. Congratulations. This is fantastic. And now, your report is about something that not everybody might know about, but is going to become a very important part of policy making and hopefully changes here in the EU, the Citizens' Initiative. Tell me why you chose that, and kind of for people who don't know, what is the Citizens' Initiative?
Okay, the Citizens' Initiative is the concept that 1 million people can get together and suggest to the European Commission a legislation. And I thought it was important to work on that because it's a tool for citizens to finally make the European Union about themselves, not about those there in Brussels. And that's what made me do it.
So how did you do your story? Did you go up to people and say, what would you like to change?
No, I focused on trying to explain to the people what it is, because I talked to some of my friends and none knew what it was and that it was there. And that's the reason that also pushed me to go and say, people have to know about it. If they want to use it, they have to know about it. And that's the role of a journalist, to explain it.
And more broadly, I mean, a lot of people feel, the EU, Brussels, I don't really understand how it works, European Parliament, Commission, it's all so far away from me. Do you think that it's the same also for younger people, younger Europeans, that this is just too remote from them?
I think it is, sort of. They feel more European because of Erasmus and stuff, but everything that happens in the institutions, it's way too far from them.
And it's obviously very complex, but is this something that, as a journalist, you want to kind of keep talking to people about in future?
Yes, I would like. I think it's important for people to try to understand and to make them understand that what happens.
And that it's relevant to them as well. Well, congratulations on the prize. Keep up the good work. Thank you. And another round of applause for Aude, please. Thank you. And Giuseppe, please, number 5.
The last one is Jessica Verzulli.
Jessica Verzulli, who is from Italy. Fatto benissimo. Allora, Jessica non parla molto bene l'inglese. Okay, Jessica's a little bit nervous about doing something in English. So I'm going to let Jessica say in her own words what her story was about. Va bene? È troppo così, ok? So tell us a little bit. Dime come, su qua era il tuo reportage.
Yeah. My report is about civil unions and gay marriages. I got inspired mostly by difference within European countries. We have to work hard for citizen rights, especially in this field. I had interviewed with 6 politicians. I can say that their position really differ one from the others.
Benissimo. Okay, grazie. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Well done to all of you for an amazing contribution. I really hope that this will inspire not just you but others just to also submit more contributions next year to Euranet. We're going to be continuing this and we're going to help continue to try and encourage young journalists to tell these really important stories. And thank you very much, Giuseppe. Thank you. And Erlends, perhaps you could come and close off this part of the ceremony and tell us what's coming up afterwards as well.
Yes, first of all, again, congratulations to all the laureates and winners. And of course, due to the success of this initiative, we are going to repeat next year. So this is really for a fact that we want to do that because I think it's a very strong contribution. As you know, our role is really trying to fill the gap between the European institutions and real life. And you are exactly there for that. So thanks to all again, and also congratulations to everybody who made this possible and a success, notably Jean-Michel for the coordination, yourself, Vanessa, all the teams, and of course the logistics of the parliaments. See you next year, and thank you.
And we're going to take a short break, but we're going to be back for several rounds of debate. So everybody at home, stay logged on, and we'll see you very soon. Thanks all. Okay.